All right, guys, so you just got your Jordan 11 breads or your patent bred Jordan 1s, and life is going amazing. Until you go on to sneaker Twitter or Instagram and you realize that after 2 wears, these things are gonna look like this. But fear not, your boy has you covered. I'm going to give you guys the helpful tips and tricks you need to know to keep your brand new patent leather sneakers from becoming this. Now, I've been buying and owning sneakers for almost 2 decades, and this one was my beater that I played in and I did all of the stuff in, right? And I honestly, it could be a lot worse. So take a deep breath. You're not going to crease the heck out of these things when you take them out to dinner, all right? It's gonna be okay. But let's get into how you can keep these things looking as pristine as possible. All right, starting off, number 1, your minimum daily maintenance. That's gonna be something that you should probably do with all your sneakers, which really just entails you wiping it down after use, big clumps of dirt, dust, whatever the case. You just wipe them off, and with patent leather shoes, they do clean up a lot easier than other types of materials on sneakers. So really all you need is a soft microfiber cloth. You do not want to use brushes. It doesn't matter how soft the bristles are on those brushes. They can leave scratches on the patent leather. You have to remember that this gloss coating is sensitive. It's waterproof and it's durable, but it will show scratches. So it's meant to protect, not necessarily maintain its pristine nature. Microfiber soft cloth, you wipe it down, you can polish the fingerprints and stuff out of it, and you're done. Honestly, just doing that right there, a quick hand polish every now and then, is going to do wonders for the life and look of your patent leather sneakers. The next thing is moisture. You definitely want to keep moisture away from these things. Now, you're going to accomplish that in 2 ways. You can invest in something like a cedar shoe tree that's going to absorb moisture naturally. You can also stuff your shoe with newspaper to help absorb that moisture, but most importantly, when you're wiping down your sneaker, you're going to use a dry microfiber cloth unless you have to get it a little bit damp, but you are never going to leave moisture visibly, especially on the surface of the sneaker. You're going to get it nice and dry. Even if you have to hit it with a low heat blow dryer, get the thing nice and dry. Now, the newspaper and the shoe trees, of course, offer a dual purpose, which brings us into the next tip, and that is stuffing these bad boys. Now, this one here came with a shoe tree like most Jordan models do. The 11s also came with a shoe tree. These came with a nice red plastic, basically permanent shoe tree. This one came with just a cardboard one. Shame on you, Nike, for the cost of this, not giving us the plastic red one that you get in a pair of 11s, but I digress. What you want to do is probably invest in a nicer shoe tree if you have just the cheap cardboard one that they give you here, and you always want to keep that thing in your shoes. I mean, that's kind of common knowledge, but I have to say it and reiterate it because you want to keep the shape, and even go the extra step by stuffing the newspaper in there or stuffing it with like tissue paper that you find in the gift section of the card store. And your only goal here is to keep these things stuffed when your foot is not in them. What's that going to do, right? When you're walking around and wearing these shoes, you are going to create some micro creases in the leather, but stuffing the shoe after use is going to help push those micro creases up and out and help alleviate and minimize them. So if it goes unchecked, those creases are just going to set in harder, and the shoe is going to, especially the toe box, is going to sink in. And with use, I mean, we've seen that all. You've seen beat up pairs of Jordan 1s, you know how they react. But if you keep them nice and stuffed like this, it's going to hold the shape and keep all of those wrinkles and creases out, right? Think of it when you pull a shirt tight and you see the wrinkles in your shirt just go away. It's the same concept. So being diligent about keeping your shoes stuffed when not in use is going to pay off big in the long run. And the last practical thing you can do without having to spend any extra money about preventing creases in your patent leather shoes is being mindful of how you wear them and what you do with them, right? You can't expect to hoop in these and not get creases, but the flip side of that is you don't have to walk funny wherever you go. You just need to be mindful about how hard you are creasing the toe box, and when you're sitting down, where you're putting the shoe. If you're sitting in the booth and you're jamming this thing against the side of the booth there, you're gonna scratch the patent leather against the wood or whatever that material or that wall is, and depending on how you sit in your car comfortably, you need to be mindful of if you are creasing the toe box. Like, just be mindful of your foot position when you are wearing these. And it might sound a little unreasonable, but I'm not wearing these every day, and I think most people aren't gonna be wearing this type of shoe every single day. It's going to be more of a special occasion type deal. So on those special occasions, you're just gonna have it in the back of your mind to not step too hard and not crease these things unnecessarily. Now, when you get to a point where you do need to do a little bit of conditioning or really clean this is where you're gonna spend a little bit of money outside of like a cedar shoe tree. but it's going to be well worth it if you want to maintain this for the long run. So there are special cleaners, leather cleaners, not the same type of leather cleaners that you are going to use on a different pair of uncoated leather sneakers. Special patent leather cleaners are available. I will have them linked in the description for you to check out. The instructions will be specific on how you apply them, and of course you are going to get them nice and dry and polished off with a microfiber cloth after use. Those can go a long way in keeping your shoes nice and crispy and as crease wrinkle free as possible. And mainly what it comes down to, guys, is two things: using common sense and accepting the fact that we buy sneakers to wear them, and it doesn't always have to look super pristine, okay? A little bit of character, a little bit of scuff, a little bit of wrinkles, that is part of your story, part of your journey with the sneakers that you own, and you should own it, and you should be into it, and you should love it, because that is what's going to make these shoes uniquely yours, right? Right now, these things could be anybody's, but once I start wearing them more and putting my own little bit of character into them in the form of wrinkles and creases and scuffs, they are now my sneakers in my personal pair, and they will have stories that relate to me and nobody else, and that's what's going to make them even more special than they are right now. So keep that in mind always. We buy our sneakers to wear them, unless of course you're a weirdo like me and you're gonna get another pair to put on the shelf for just display purposes. So guys, if you enjoyed these tips on maintaining your patent leather sneakers, drop a like for your boy and check out my review on these bad boys right here, the Jordan Patent Bred ones. I think these are still underrated and are going to continue to appreciate and value. That review obviously is right here for you to check out. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for coming by, subscribing, joining the fam, and checking out the links. I hope you have a good evening, good night, good day, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.